Hi, everyone, and welcome to Leaf Rants. The Toronto Maple Leafs lose 3-2 against the Chicago Blackhawks, and I don't know how to feel about it. Now, did the Leafs play good tonight? Sometimes. Did they play bad? No. And if they keep playing games like this, they'll probably be winning. But does anybody care? No. We've lost our last 5. It's not acceptable by any means. So what are we doing here? Austin Matthews is out. Tonight, Brandon Carlo is out. Scott Lawton's out. Anthony Stolarz is out. Chris Tanev's out. You want to know the lineup that they came in with tonight? Robertson, Tavares, and Nylander. I really like this line. Nick Robertson, he's been in the top 6 for a hot minute now. My God, and he's earned that spot. He has played amazing. Their on shot attempts for and against are 13 for, 15 against. And I wasn't expecting that at all. Nick Robertson tonight, he has shown why he deserves a spot beside Tavares and Nylander once Matthews is back. Then that second line, we have Matthew Knies, Nicholas Waugh, and Easton Cowan. 13 shot attempts for, 3 shot attempts against. I didn't mind that line. Obviously, Matthew Knies is a really good player. Easton Cowan, I like him beside Nicholas Waugh. I like that as a duo. And then I think if you slot McMahon beside there when Matthews is back, I think that's a perfect third line. I like Nicholas Waugh a lot more when he's not stapled to Dakota Joshua. And then the third line was Matias Maccelli, Max Domi, and Bobby McMahon. And this line made absolutely no sense. Now, Matias Maccelli and Max Domi are basically the exact same person. The shot attempts for and against were 6 for, 11 against. Bobby McMahon is a good defensive guy. I trust him in the D zone. Max Domi and Matias Maccelli, I do not. Max Domi has no place on this team. Waiving him or just sending him to the Marlies would be an addition by subtraction. I much prefer Matias Maccelli because I know Berube won't put him at center ever, which Max Domi should never do. And then the fourth line was Joshua, Lawrence, Yarncroke, and you know what? I actually like this line. Shot attempts for were 10 and 4. Max Domi and Matias, that Domi line, not good. Never want to see that again. And then let's talk about the D pairs. Morgan Riley and Philip Myers. We should never see that again. I don't think Myers would play another game, but Benoit McCabe, second pairing. I'm fine with Simone Benoit being your 7th defenseman. He's the 6th right now. But I'm okay with him being in here, with Carlo being out, and Tanev. Mermis OEL. Now, Mermis I don't like, and I don't know how many more games he'll play as a Leaf, but I much prefer him over Philip Myers. And OEL, who is starting to become one of my favorite defensemen on this team. Man, has he been good. And then Joseph Wall in net tonight. And he was amazing. He was absolutely stunning tonight. Let's talk about it, and let's talk a little bit more about why this was Philip Myers' last game as a Toronto Maple Leaf. To start off, the third line was out here with Philip Myers. And look at this. I'm pulling up the NHL Edge because I can't play gameplay. So look at this. Look right here. Look at the forwards, just 11, 63, 74. What are they doing? They're not really on anyone. They're just skating around, right? Now let's take another look. Look at number 51. Look right here. Who is he covering? No one. So what does he do? Well, he thinks Max Domi has number 20, Teravainen, who scored this goal. So Philip Myers just goes into the middle here, into no man's land, and he's covering absolutely nobody. So Max Domi isn't going to go on to Teravainen because whose man should that be? That should be Myers' guy. Domi should go back up and take another forward. So what happens here? Well, Domi goes to cover the other winger, as he should, because McMahon is now picking up the defenseman. Maccelli has the other guy. And then look what happens. They do a little switch. Myers somehow ends up on the other side, and Teravainen, he scores. 1-0. Then the Toronto Maple Leafs started to find their legs a little bit. And all of a sudden, you look up, and the Leafs are up 10-8 in shots at the end of the second. And then John Tavares crashing the front of the net. Robertson dumps the puck down, retrieves it, flicks it over. Tavares just wraps it around and gets it into the net. And Nick Robertson crashes the net and ties it up. And it's 1-1. And the Leafs go into the first intermission, having outplayed their team in the second period, or second half of the first period, tied up and carrying that momentum with them. And then they come out in the second period, and they just were not good at all for a solid 90 seconds. They were just horrible. And Domi draws a penalty. The Leafs don't score on the power play. And then the Leafs and Hawks just exchange a crap ton of chances. A shot going clearly for the net. McCabe blocks that. Then Willie gets a breakaway the other way. Then a big stop from Wall. And then a puck that's at the side of the net. Looks like the Hawks are going to score. Leafs somehow clear it out. And somehow we're in a game that is 1-1. Such an even second period for both teams just exchanging chances. And then Cowan gets a chance, and it goes wide. And he had a couple tonight. Then Robertson, still on the same shift, picks it up and shoots it wide. So close. And then Willie shoots it, cross crease, goes back for Riley. Then it gets flicked in the air. And William Nylander gets an assist on this play because how did he get that assist? Well, he knocked it out of the air using his stick. Was that a high stick? Most definitely. Did the goal count? I'm not going to complain about it. Nylander knocks it down, gets it. It goes back to OEL, who shoots it in, gets deflected over straight to Morgan Riley, who knocks it in. And it's 2-2 or 2-1. The Leafs are up. Best shift of the year for the Leafs has to be up there. And that's just sad. A minute 19 of solid pressure for the Leafs there. They were cooking. The Hawks, they challenged for that high stick, and it was deemed a good goal somehow. The Leafs get a power play after that. They didn't score, but that would have been funny. It would have been great if they won, too. Then Easton Cowan takes 2 minutes for slashing. They kill it off. Then Cowan gets a chance coming out of the box, shoots it just wide. 2-1 after 2. Good second period for the Leafs. Very back and forth. Just a competitive period. And then in the third period, Philip Myers, which I don't think he played a single shift after this, 5 minutes into the third. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. He's 6'5", 220, 230 pounds, and he's in a puck battle against Frank Nazar. And right here, he has inside positioning on 5'10", 190 pounds, Frank Nazar. And somehow he loses body positioning like this and falls over and looks like an absolute idiot. Then Teravainen makes a really nice play. He absolutely walks Riley and walks in and beats Wall, but I don't know if I'd blame that on Wall or Riley, to be honest. And I'm probably just going to put it on a guy who looks like this. This is looking up at the scoreboard and knowing you just lost your job because you got absolutely walked by Frank Nazar. Then Easton Cowan, 2 minutes for delay game. It's in his own zone, flicks it out over the glass. Can't do that. That's a rookie mistake. And then Wall, he just gets left out to dry for a little bit. By deflection from Doc, and it's 3-2. And the Leafs lose. And it's a 5-game losing streak. And it's their first 5-game losing streak since April 21. Span of more than 4.5 years. They'd only done it 3 times in the 10 seasons of the Matthews era before now. This was the 4th time. Now, the Leafs game did look better tonight, but it's another loss. They're 11th in 19 games. And that's the thing. The Leafs lost tonight, but at least they did it with a bit of dignity. That's where we're at. That's such a low bar. But they've lost 5 straight games. Entering tonight, the Leafs were 32-0-0 when leading through 2 periods in starts made by Wall. They played horrible for him tonight. There's another thing, expected goals percentage. The lowest for the Leafs, other than the guy at the very bottom, is Max Domi at 47%. At the very bottom, lowest out of second lowest out of anyone is by the Hawks. Connor Murphy sitting out 18%. Philip Myers was at 6% expected goals when he was on the ice. What are we doing here? If Philip Myers isn't done tonight, I don't know. Never again can you see him. Another thing I wanted to point out is William Nylander hasn't registered a shot in consecutive games. First time he's done that since December 17th, 2019. And I know what's up with that. William Nylander has to be shooting. I thought that line looked good, but I didn't realize he didn't have a shot. He had a couple chances, but not registering a shot on net is a serious problem. So, without Philip Myers, who comes in? Well, Craig Berube on Troy Stecher. Right-handed shot, very competitive, been around, got experience, but more than anything, it's getting that right-hand shot. 5 of 6 Leafs D-men tonight were left-handed. Apart from Philip Myers, he was the only one. So, with Myers definitely out, hopefully, Stecher will come in. Welcome to the Stecher area. Clip this if you want. Philip Myers will never play another game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs have 2 days off coming up here. They play St. Louis. That's a must-win game for 3 reasons. One, and the most obvious one, is that you've lost 5 straight games, and if you lose a 6th, that's giving up territory. Number 2, Craig Berube is the former head coach of the St. Louis Blues. He won them a cup. If you come into St. Louis and lose your 6th straight game coaching your new team after they fired you, that doesn't look very good, does it? And 3, that's where Wall is from. Come on. You want to play good for him. Left him out to dry a bit tonight. Talking about the Leafs, if they lose their 6th, being completely over, is because when you look at the standings right now, the Leafs are 15th in their conference, and they're only 4 points away from 4th. In their division, they're 7th, second last. They're 4 points out of second. And Montreal has won like 5 of their games this season in regulation, so that's not looking very good for them. But anyways, 2 days off. You go to St. Louis, on the road, get out of the spotlight, blah, 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 go off, I don't know, bond with your teammates. Hopefully Austin Matthews will be, I don't know if he'll be back for that game, but healthier. We'll get a bit of a timeline on him. Hopefully Brandon Carlo's good to come in, so I never have to see Myers again, and Myers can just be shot into the sun and absolutely obliterated for all I care. And we'll end it on that note. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please click like. If you liked it, clicking subscribe always makes me feel good. Thank you very much. Do or die in St. Louis.